Hi everybody, welcome to Kingdom Keto with Kari. We are so excited to have you today, and guess what's on our menu? Meatball with Parmesan cream sauce all over. It's going to be so delicious today. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about the meatballs. I'm going to talk a little bit about the sauce. First, what I want to do is give you the ingredients for the sauce. Maybe you can hear in the background we've got our meatballs sizzling already. Just to keep this going, I've got 1 tablespoon of butter for the sauce. I have a half tablespoon of garlic powder and a half tablespoon of onion powder, and I've combined this together in this 1 little cup here. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt with a half teaspoon of xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is used as a thickener in keto recipes because it's carb free. And then we have 1 tablespoon of Parmesan cheese, which I'm going to kind of finish with. I have a half tablespoon of rosemary, a half tablespoon of oregano, and a half tablespoon of basil. All this is going to be combined together with a couple of liquids. We're going to use 1 cup of chicken broth for this particular recipe, and also a half cup of cream, like a heavy cream. And you want it to be carb free. Everything that we have here, including the butter, is carb free. So this sauce is going to be completely on your keto diet. You're going to love it. Not only that, but you can use this sauce for other things as well, not just meatballs. To be honest with you, you could even put it down on a pizza as the base sauce if you have the right thickness to it. So those are just some suggestions. While we make our meatballs, I wanted to share with you that, and to serve this meatballs and cream sauce and finish it in a plate for your dinner, you could have a cauliflower mash. That would be great with it, or possibly like zucchini pasta. You could have with it, of course, a salad. There's so many options out there. So that's what my suggestion is for this. I'm gonna check on my meatballs, come right back and talk to you about the meatballs, and I'll see you in a second. I'm back. I've checked on the meatballs. I want to talk about those meatballs right now. So one of the things that I want to share with you about keto meatballs is that you obviously want to have them carb free. So you're not going to be able to put the breadcrumbs in there, any carbohydrates inside the meatballs as you roll them up. Everybody probably knows how to roll up some meatballs. Mamma mia! Well, I really want to share with you that there are other things you can use instead of those breadcrumbs. So once you get your meat and you put all your seasonings in there, some people like to put a little chopped onion, a little chopped garlic. You probably have some things that you like that are some Italian seasonings, things of that nature. I would suggest either using Parmesan cheese as a little bit as your binder, or Romano cheese, one of those, because of the consistency and the texture of that as a binder. To be honest, if you make your meatballs kind of smaller in size, you really don't have to have that binder at all. And you could just skip it and just have the egg only inside your meatball mixture as you roll them up. Another idea is pork rinds. Pork rinds come in different flavors, and you can just take them, put them in a little Ziploc bag, smash them down some so that they're really fine, and use that like a breadcrumb. That's another great idea. So whatever you prefer, you can do. And the meatballs that I'm making today, I've made small in size. I don't necessarily need the binder in it today. I just want to share some concepts with you. But also, I want to share that I added some Fontina cheese and some Parmesan cheese in there, and just normal herbs. I didn't add any onion or garlic or anything like that. I did take some roasted garlic and I chopped that up in there, but not any regular garlic, just a roasted garlic, just to give it that roasted flavor. I like that roasted taste to it. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to come right back. I'm going to have the meatballs prepared. I'm going to set the meatballs aside, and then we're going to make this creamy sauce together. This is carb free, and like I said earlier, you can actually use this sauce for many things. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you just in a second. Okay, everybody, welcome back. I brought you over to the stove so that you can see that these meatballs look terrific. They're small in size, as I said, and they're colored beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and put them in this little dish here, and then we're going to get started on our sauce. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with our butter. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of butter, and we're going to let that melt down into the skillet. I'm going to turn it on medium. I'm just going to let that melt down for a minute. This sauce is relatively easy. This is pretty quick. So I told you the ingredients that we have in the meatballs. The meatballs are completely done, but what I'm going to do is put them back into the sauce in a few minutes. So it's okay that they sit out for a second. They're going to definitely be nice and warm, and they're going to simmer with the sauce. But I want to add this 1 tablespoon of butter just to the seasoning of the meatballs that just cooked in the bottom of the skillet. Now you can see that this is starting to have a slight bubble to it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn it up just a notch off of medium, and I'm going to start putting my liquids in. So I'm going to add that 1 tablespoon of chicken stock. This is a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to stir this just for a second. I'm using a cast iron skillet. You can use any skillet will work with this particular dish. In fact, even like a non-stick skillet that's for saute recipes, probably that would work as well, that has a lid. Now I'm putting that 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder in that I had mixed together. The aroma is amazing. Now for the herbs, I'm going to put the rosemary in first. The reason is it's the heaviest of the herbs that we have today for this particular recipe, and they take just a little longer to soak in their flavors into the recipe itself. So I put that in there. And you can tell by looking it's not too much too. It's not overdone in rosemary. All right, so the next thing that we have is we're gonna add to it the basil. It's gonna be basil and oregano. And if you remember, we're gonna finish, I put 1 tablespoon of each of those, and we're gonna finish with the Parmesan. So those herbs all went in together, and I'm just making sure that they're fully blended. We're gonna bring this to a nice simmer. This carb-free sauce is so delicious. It's a little bit more blended through with the cream and the chicken stock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the salt and the xanthan gum. You can see that it's just now starting to come to a light simmer. And I want to end with that until I've finished with the Parmesan cheese. And that xanthan gum is going in right at the proper time so that just as it's starting to begin to have that simmer and that light boil without breaking the cream, and it's going to help thicken the sauce. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a different rotation here with the spoon to make sure that xanthan gum is really spread out nice and neat and whipped in there good. A small whisk, and I'm going to use that because I can tell I need to get that xanthan gum a little bit more whisked up in there. It's already starting to thicken. A lot of cream sauces you need to whisk and not stop the whisking process because you don't want that cream to break in the skillet. I just turned mine down a little bit lower. I can see that it's definitely beginning to thicken, more of the kind of consistency that I'm looking for, where this will serve nicely over some cauliflower mash or zucchini pasta. That's nice and thick. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to let it simmer, but I'm going to turn it a little bit lower right now, and I'm going to add these meatballs back into the cream sauce and coat them with the cream sauce. Now, I'm going to share with you a little tip. Let's say you're making something different. You have your meatballs, but you want to have kind of a red pasta sauce base similar to like a vodka sauce. You could, instead of using so many of the herbs, because this is more of like a creamy basil type of recipe, you could actually add some paprika, some smoked paprika or paprika in there instead of all the herbs, and just put 1 herb or 2 herbs in there, and it would actually start to have that light red color to it, and it would taste obviously different having the paprika in there. But the base and the construction of this sauce, like I said earlier, you can use for many things. So I wanted to suggest that to you as an alternative, because you know that type of sauce with meatballs is just as delicious as the creamy sauce. Now what I want to do is with a spoon, I hope you can see this on camera, you can tell how thick and nice that sauce is. It's just like a sauce that you would have made before you were on keto, and you had like flour in there, but see, you don't have the flour, and you can just tell how wonderful that thickness is. You always want to taste everything to make sure that it is prepared well the way that you want it before you serve up. So I'm going to take a little Dimitas spoon, I'm going to taste it real quick. Get a little bit from the edge so it's not quite so hot, but you can even tell on that spoon how thick it is. Delicious. What really adds flavor in this particular recipe is that rosemary too. The rosemary combined with the cream is incredible. All right, at this point, I don't want the cream to break, so I'm turning it off, and I'm gonna go ahead and serve it right back up in this dish. I'm going to move this over to the table and we'll be right back with you. It is incredible. I'm going to finish it with this Parmesan cheese on the top. It doesn't need any more herbs. It has just the right amount of rosemary and basil and everything in it. I'm going to take a quick bite of this wonderful meatball, finish in the Parmesan cheese. To die for. It's so good. I hope you enjoy this recipe. We'll see you next time on Kingdom Keto with Kari.